Hello and welcome back to today's class. Now we're going to continue from where we stopped. Now in the previous class, we looked at CSS. We talked about different. Sorry, that was not the class. So this is. We talked about different method of styling. We looked at the CSS syntax. Then we talked about selectors, right? Look at the element selector, class ID, pseudo selector, pseudo elements, and so on and so forth, right? We also talked about colors, right? We looked at the background color, color for text, which is also the text color, which is just written as color. Then we look at different color values. We talked about the color by names, HTML5 color values, hexadecimal color values, RGB color, and RGBA colors, right? We also talked about the HSL, though we didn't do an example on that, right? Now, in today's class, we're going to be looking at CSS box model because that was what I wrote. I said in the next class we'll look at CSS box model. Is that not so? Now, what does CSS box model mean? Now, CSS box model is that aspect. Let me just, what will happen is this. Let me create a new file. Say box.html, box.css, right? Now, when we talk about CSS box model, it is that part of web development which sees everything on our web page as a box. Now, what do I mean? If I should do something like this, say H1 for instance, I say hello, sorry, I say hello, this is not what I wanted to press. I say hello, CSS box model, I'm sorry. Now, if I do this and save, by the time I right click and open this with live server, and you can notice this is what I'm getting now. If I should inspect the web page, mm, and take this guy down here, let me just expand this guy a bit. Now, when we click on this guy, and this is it over here. Remember, everything here is our element there console. So what this with JavaScript application and so on and so forth. We'll get to that part during the course of the program. Now, the element, like I said, this with the HTML and the CSS. As you can see, this is the markup and this is the styling, right? So these are the default styles that came with that guy by default. Now, by the time I scroll down, you're going to see a box over here, right? This, and this. Now, what do they represent? This guy is representing the content. That's to say the content. CHLO CSS box model. Remember, this is a block level element, so you take up the full. Now, this is the padding, which means an internal spacing, right? Then this is the border. Border is like the boundary with which that element is confined. Then the margin is an external space, any space outside of the border, right? So now the padding and the margin, I know this is going to confuse us a bit, but let's just see it like this. Padding is the space between the content and the border. Remember, I said the border is the boundary. The margin is the space outside the border. So we're going to see explanation of this shortly. Now, what will happen is that if you look at this now, when I hover past it, you're going to see it. But now I have a margin. I also have the content, but there's no border and padding. So what does that mean? It means that I can go back to my. Let me just put this into two equal halves. I can link my CSS by saying link column CSS, but don't forget this will give me style of CSS. So I need to change this to what they call. I need to change it to box.css, right? So if I do this and save, open this, I close this guy, and close this guy as well. Sorry about the noise. I know you guys might be hearing noise of cars and so on and so forth. But this is kind of close to the road, so I had to do this video. Now, if I should come back here and do something like H1, let me just select the H1. I say background color red. So we know that this is working, right? Then I can decide to come here and use this guy. Right, so that we'll see this border padding and margin rather. Now I'm going to be removing this guy, right? Now let me see. Now that guy is that. Remember I said we have the margin, we also have the content, but there's no border and padding. What does that mean? It means if I come here and I say, okay, I want to give a padding of 20 pixels, now what should will happen? By the time I come, you can see there's a padding applied, right? So you can see this guy. When I hover past it on this place, you see a green box covering the what's it called, covering the the content. So that's the padding. Now what about border? Like I said, border is like the boundary. So I can do something like border 1 pixel solid red, right? So when I do that, you can see that space in between is the, remember that space is the padding, right? Between the content and the border. If I should comment this, now this is what we're going to get. Now let me put it back. Now there's something I want you guys to take note of. Border is the general name, right? When I say general name, I can see border, right? And I can do something like, I can do something like border width, DTH, I'll say 20 pixel, right? I can say border type or border style rather. So this should be solid, right? And I can say border color, right? This should be red. Now by the time I do this and save, this is what I'm getting. So border is like a general name that can take multiple values. But if I want to specify, I can say border width, border style, border color, and the rest of them. I can also say border radius. But we'll see that shortly. Now, so instead of using this, I'll just go with the first one. Now I can decide to just give something like padding 20 pixel. Let me just duplicate this guy, then take it down. I want to make sure we're having a nice lecture. Now, if I say padding 20 pixel, margin 20 pixel, remember I said this is an external space. Now, what should will happen? Save. Okay. Okay. That's nothing. Now, then I see something like border, right? 20 pixels, solid red. I already explained this. And let's watch what we'll get. Now you can see I'm having 20 pixel all around, 20 pixel, 20 pixel, right? So that's the margin, pattern, and border. Now I can also give this to be a transparent color, right? Now, even though it's not there, but you can see it over here. The border, the margin, the padding, and the content. So please take note. That's for CSS box model. Like I said, everything on the web page is seen as a box, right? Now, let us talk about there's something I want us to talk about. Now, this is actually from our previous class. I noticed that during the recording of the class, I did not capture the sound completely. So that's why I'm making this video again, just for you so that I can get the video. So in order for me to, guide myself and teach exactly what was on that, what I taught in that class, I'm going to be looking at the CSS file from that class to teach. So after I talked about this, okay, the next thing was, okay, I went into margin. So let's go back. So if I go back to my CSS, let's talk about margin, right? Now margin. Now the margin can take four. It can take a single value, two values, three values, and four values, right? So let me just say something like this for margin, single values, right? So remember when we say margin, we mean external space, right? So I'll do something like this. I'll say external space, don't forget. Now if I come down and see margin, I say margin to be 30 pixels. So let me close the console. I don't think we need this, right? Now when I say margin 30 pixels, we mean 30 pixels all around, right? But before I do that, I want to strip off every padding and margin by default. We saw this in our previous class. If you be following the videos completely, if I say border, I want to remove every default padding and margin. So asterisk is my universal selector. So I can say margin 0 pixel, padding 0 pixel, and say box sizing to be border box. Right. So by the time I do this and save, now don't forget this space is coming from this place. By the time I do this and save, you can see that there is no space. So even if I give a border, let me say something like border coming 1 pixel solid black, right? What will happen? You notice that it's kind of close to the edge of the screen. So let me just change this to 3 pixel, right? Okay, let me use 2 pixel. And also, I don't want to demonstrate this using heading tag. So let me just go back to my box.html, right? I'm going to demonstrate this by using a paragraph. So I'll say P and I'll say lorem, right? So this is okay. I'm going to comment this, right? So if I come back, I can apply that to this. I can apply that. If I need anything, I'll check the file again. I can apply that to this. Let me just cut these guys. right? So I'm going to put a P, then pixel of this, right? So let's talk about margin, single values, right? So like I said, I've stripped off every default padding and margin. That's why this is giving me something like this. I'm sorry, I brought it back again. So that's why I'm getting this. Now, remember I said margin is an external space, right? So I'm going to put this guy upstairs, right? So now the explanation will go well like this. Now by the time I say margin, I'm saying margin from the top 20, from the right rather 30, from the bottom 30, left 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, all around, right? Now I can decide to do something like this. I can come down and do something like this. If I give this a margin of 200 pixels, remember when it's taking the single values all around, you can see what is happening. There's now an overflow, right? So take note when we say this 200 from the top, the right, the bottom, and the left. Please go away from the top 200 pixels, go away from the right 200. So take note. Now I know you might be wondering why am I always starting from the top because that's the conversion, right? So we see it when we get to two values. So when I see two values, what do I mean? It means I can do something like this margin, right? 20, okay, 30 pixel, um 60 pixel. Now what does this mean? Now this means from the top and bottom 30 pixel, from the left and right 60 pixel. So that's what it means. So if I want the top and bottom to be obvious, I can change this to 300 pixel. You notice that there will be an overflow, right? So 300 from the top, 200 from down. So I think 200 sits at the middle completely good. So 200 from the top, 200 from the down, right? Or from the bottom. Let's take note of that. Then I want is taking three values. So if I say three values, right? Now for three values, what do I mean? If I say margin and I say 30 pixel, 70 pixel, and 20 pixel, what do we mean? Now it means from the top, this is starting from the top, the second value is left and right, and the last value is bottom. So from the top 30 pixel, from left and right 70 pixel, then from the bottom 20 pixel. That's what this thing actually means, right? So how do I, if you notice the bottom padding is like, it's very hard to notice the bottom padding, but now if I want you to notice it, I can give it a big value. Let me just make this 400. Now when I do this, okay, it didn't cause an overflow. Let me just make it something like 900. Now this is what is happening. There is an overflow now. But if you notice, the top still remains 30 pixels, but the bottom, right, because of the overflow, yeah, the thing is it brought out the scroll bar. So please take note of that. So if I make this to be 200 pixel, don't forget that 200 pixel will be there, but then also the 900 pixel of the bottom will also be there, causing the overflow. Can you see this? Notice this scroll is longer till we get to the content compared to from the content to the top of the page. So please take note of that. So for three values, this is the top, right? This is the left and right, then this is the what, the bottom. So take note. So now let me talk about four values, right? Now for four values, what do we mean? Now four values means all round, but starting from the top. So we're going to the clockwise direction, right? So I can do something like margin, margin, right? I can say 20 pixel, 50 pixel, 70 pixel, 90 pixel. Let's see. Now this means 20 from the top, 50 from the right, 70 from the bottom, and 90 from the left. So by the time I say right 20, then the right is what 50. If you notice, the bottom is 70, you will notice that. Then the left is 90. If you notice, the 90 is greater than the 50. That's why this space from here to here is kind of bigger than the one from here. In fact, it's not kind of, it's bigger than it. You get. If I should change this to now 100, what will happen? To go away from the left, can you see what's happening? So that's what's happening. So please take note of that. Now let me just make it something normal. So let me just say 100 pixel, right? So from the top 20, if I should change this to 200, it means from the top 200 pixel, from the right 50 pixel, from the bottom 70, from the left 100. So please take note of that. So that's that about padding. What about for about margin? What about padding? Now padding is almost the same as margin, but the difference is that for padding we're talking about internal space. So what do we mean by that? We mean the space between the content and the border or the boundary. Right? So if I say padding, so all the explanation remains the same. If I say padding of 50 pixel, we mean 50 pixel from this text to the border to that line. By the time I save, can you see what's happening? Can see what's happening. 50 pixel all around, right? So if I change it to 500, what should happen? You get, so it's causing an overflow, but then everything is all round. If you notice, the box is still sticking to the edge of the screen. Why? Because I have not applied any margin, or because I didn't apply any margin. If I change it to 70 pixel, can you see what we're getting? So that's what the single value means. So if we're talking about two values, let me just do something like this. Comment single value, right? So let's look at two values. So if I say two values, as usual, the first will be for top and bottom. So if I say padding, hmm, 40 pixel, 90 pixel. Now the first will be for top and bottom, the second will be for left and right. So by the time I save top and bottom 40 pixel, left and right 90. So if I should change this one to let me see 150 and see if can you see what's happening? I guess you can see. So 150 from here, 150 from the other side. Right? So please take note. Then let's talk about theory values. So if I say theory values, right? So when we say theory values, what do we mean? So if I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to put a comment. So if I say padding and I say 30 pixel, 60 pixel, 90 pixel, right? So what does this mean? From the top 30, why the second is representing left and right, right? Then the what's it called? The bottom. Sorry. Okay, right. Yes, the bottom is 90 pixel. So by the time I save this, 30 from the top, right? 70 from sorry 60 from left and right, then from the bottom is what 90. So if I should increase this to let me see 80 and save, can you see what's happening? Left and right, okay, it's not even that visible. Let me say 200. So if I save, can you see what's happening? 200 from the left, 200 from the right, 30 from the top, 90 from the bottom. So I guess this is understandable now, or you've understood this. So let me just see four values. Alright, so when we say four values, what do we mean? So when I say padding, I say 20 pixel, 60 pixel, 30 pixel, 89 pixel. I don't know, I always like using round figures. So by the time I say from the top is 20, from the right is 60, from the bottom is 30, then from the left is 89. Let me just increase the one of the bottom to let me say 90 so that you see the difference. Can you see the difference? So please that's for that about the border and what's it called CSS box model. Like I said, it assumes everything on the web page should be a box, right? Now there are other things we need to talk about, things like border radius and so on and so forth. Now you've already seen the border, like I explained earlier, right? The border is that line that is that's acting as a boundary. Let me just put it that way. But now I want to make sure I'm not, going ahead of what I thought on the video on the previous class. Remember I said I lost the audio. So let me go back, right? So I think that's where we stopped. Then we talked about border. Is that not so? Now border radius rather. Now what is border radius? Sorry. I want to talk about border radius. I'm talking about this edge of the shape. You get the edge of the shape. I don't want it to be square. I want it to be something else. So that's what it means. So if I should save this, everything has gone back to normal. Now let me just apply a padding. So say padding of 20 pixel, and I want a margin of 20 pixel as well. Right? Now you see what I'm getting. Now if I want a border radius, now border radius, like I said, if I see border radius, I can see 30 pixel. Now what should happen? I'm now having curved edges, right? So that's what border radius means. 50% of the border radius means circle. That's if the shape is a perfect square, but if it's not a perfect square, it will form an ellipse or an oval. So if I save, and this is what I'm getting. So please take note of that. So how do I solve this now? Uh, if I should give it a okay, fine, no need, no need. If I should let me control Y, right? Remember I said 50%. If I should give this guy equal width and height, if I say width should be 50, okay 500 pixel, then the height should be 500 pixel as well. What should happen? You can see I'm getting a perfect circle, right? So please take note. A perfect circle can only be formed, or a circle can only be formed from a perfect square. So let's take note of that. But now I don't want to make use of this guy. So I can go over to my web page and you know okay, let me just take this guy to the end. You know, that's the reference that we're looking for. Now I can come back to my web page and give a div. So I can say div, right? I can say no need to give anything inside of it. So by the time I come here, just to copy these guys, right? Then now we say div, then paste this guy, not div p. That was a mistake. Now the reason you can't say anything is because there's no border. So let me just take the border. I come back here and paste the border. You're going to see something on the web page now. Um, right now, okay, we're having two divs. So this happened during the class. So let me just explain why. Now, if you are seeing two of these, of course, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be two. It's supposed to be one. Now, if I should come back here and inspect, I think there is another div being formed or being injected dynamically. So let me just okay. I want this to go back to normal because this is what I like using. Now let's go back to the body and come down. You can see there is a div coming from Loom Companion. I don't know if it's because I'm using Live Server or I don't know, but this is the main div we are working on. So remember, I'm using the element selector so to affect all divs on the web page. Now, a better one way to come out of this is to come back here and give this guy an ID or a class. But let me just give it a class. If I give it a class of box, come back here, I can now do something like this dot box, right? So that's for that. Now, if I give it an equal with an eyes, don't forget that will give me a what? A cycle, right? Now I can do something like this, 80, 80, right? So if I do, that's small. Let me say 250, 250. So that's what I'm getting, right? I can give a border radius of, sorry, border of 20 pixel. That's what I'm getting. Or I can make this 100 pixel. There's one thing I did. So this looks like a DJ disc, right? I can give it a background color of red. What should happen? So you can play with this as you like. So let me just Control Z. Let me just change this to 50 and save. I think I use something like this on. Okay, 50 is too big. Let me change it to 35. I'm sorry, 35, not 350. I think I used something like this on this website. Okay, my exam server is still running. I showed it during the class NFT. Mm. So everything is just your creativity. Let me go back home. So something like this over here, but I added an image over there. You get. So you see, these things are easy. It's just your creativity and everything that matters, right? So I'm going to go back to the class. Then let me comment this. Right. So now let's look at the border radius. You've seen it. I can form a board. And there's what we call the border left, border top radius, border right radius. So I can see something like border um, 3 pixel. Sorry, 3 pixel solid black. Right. You can see it's forming something like that. So I can see border. Or let me just give you width and height. Width of 50 pixel, height of 50 pixel. Right. Now 50 is too small. Let me just change this to 150. Also, I want to give it a margin so that there will be space from outside, right? Margin of 50 pixels. Now, this is what I want you guys to note. Okay, good. I didn't talk about this in the class. Then there's what we call margin of auto. Now, margin of auto only works if you've given a width attribute. So if I or a width property, if I say auto means from the left the equal amount from the left and right, or from the left take this amount from the right, take the same amount. So auto means equal amount from the left and right. So if I save, can you see what I'm having? Right. So please take note of that. So auto is kind of overriding this default value. So I can do something like this. With my margin, I can see, okay, from top and bottom be 50 pixel, right? Then left and right be auto. Good, this is what I need. I want it to be sitting at the center, or I want it to sit at the center. Can you see? Now, if I come here, I can do something like border radius of 50 pixel. You know what that will give, right? I can say 100 pixel, right? That will give me a perfect circle, right? But that's not what I need. Now there's what we call, let me say 30 pixel. And there's what we call border right radius. I can say border right radius, border right top radius rather, border right top, or border top right radius. Let me see, border top. right, good, border top right radius. So that's what this will give to me. I think I explained this during the class. There's what we call the border, what's it called? The border top left radius. So that would be for the other side of the shape. So just watch. That's what I'm getting. There's what we call the border, border bottom. Let me just duplicate this. So I'll say border bottom right radius, right? Then I'll say border bottom. My spelling is not correct. I'll say border bottom left radius, right? So let me comment this guy. So don't forget we've not done the left. Okay, let's start with right. I don't know. Let me comment this guy. So bottom right, you know what that would be? Somewhere around here. By the time I see, you can see what I'm getting. Right, something over here. Is that not so? Then if I should comment this and save this guy, I see what I'm getting. Something over here. So take note, those are other border properties, right? So please take note of them. So this is pretty much all we covered during the class. I think I haven't added to it, but then remember that was a live class, so it's supposed to be a bit longer. Let me just control Z. Let it be showing on the web page. So I want to check the class again. Okay, that was what we talked about. Okay, that was what we talked about. So that's just it. Now, we also wanted to talk about our next topic. The next topic we'll be doing, and I say that topic is going to be CSS layout and positioning. Let me also layout and position. Right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. But then, okay, position and layout and position. Okay, position and okay, we'll talk about position first. Let's see. CSS position and layout. Right? Position, right? So that's the spelling right there. Now, during the class, there is a project we were about to do, and I don't know, everything just went off. So I think we are going to look at that project together on this video. If I go to GBHNGS, okay, good, is it? Oh, I need to connect my data. So just wait a bit. Now, the reason for this project is such that we will learn about we've already learned how to bring an image, but we didn't talk about icon. So we're going to learn how to bring an icon, just a little, few little designs. So let's just talk about it and let's see what this will lead us to. So this is just it, just like a profile card, right? So we're going to be creating this now. Now, there are different icon libraries to pick from, but then we're going to be using Iconify, right? These things are like this. Whatever you start learning with, if you are not comfortable with it, I don't think you'll be able to use that thing during your learning phase also. So why am I saying this? When I started, I wanted to try this using. I wanted to try how to bring icon to our web page by using font awesome, but then it was kind of difficult to me. Remember, it was the first time. So I ran away from it and I started using Iconify, right? So Iconify is easy to use. You don't need to stress yourself just to import the CDN. So I'll go to Iconify.design, right? And I'll go to icons, right? So this is it. So I can search any icon. Before that, I'll go to Iconify CDN. So there's a library called CDNGS. I think that's where it will lead us to. Okay, good. It didn't lead us there. So let's just get the now without this CDN, it's not going to work. Now what does CDN mean? CDN means content delivery network, right? It's just like you're using a library online, right? So this is your connecting point to them. Let's just grab the CDN, Control C. As we progress in this course, we're going to see more CDN. Now I'm going to expand this. Mm. So let me just create this. Let me just say profile.html. Right, then I'll say profile.css, right? Now for the HTML, I'm going to bring out my boilerplate. Then I'll paste this. This is a script tag. I'll paste it under. Now don't forget this thing. You can see it's using a live timer, right? We're not going to be creating the timer. I'm coming. And did I close this? Okay, good. We're not going to be we're not going to be creating the timer. This is because that was done using JavaScript, but our focus here is the design. So HTML and CSS. So please take note. Now, I come back, I'm supposed to link this by saying link column CSS, right? And if I do this, I need to change this to profile.css. Is that not so? So I'm going to close this. Now, the next thing is to bring an image because I need this image, right? So I'll go to my computer. Okay, I've already searched for the image. So there are two ways to bring this image. I can decide to, I saw this thing just now. Okay, good. I can decide to drag this and, drop it over here. I don't think it's sure. I need to open it. So let me just go and do the drag and drop again. So I'll drag this profile, then drop it over here, right? And the picture is there though. I can insert this image by using the img tag. Remember all of these, right? Just to come here and say img, right? Source is what gb profile.png. So by the time I do this and save, go back to my web page. Uh, okay, okay, good. I've not opened it, so I'm just going to come here, right click, open with live server. Right, so good. This is what I'm getting. I'm going to close this. I no longer need that, so I'm going to close this as well. I don't need that as well. Right, so this is what I need. So this is so. Time I see, you notice that I'm getting this right. Hmm. Uh, free man. Okay, free now. Now let's continue. So that's the image. So let's bring out the text. Now, one thing to note about the image, I wish I'm having an image folder, or if I was having an image folder like this, img.js, right? And this image is inside of that folder. Now, if I put this and you can see what is happening, right? This will break. Is that not so? Now, how do I make it work? I need to go into the images folder before the gb profile.png. If I save, you can see it's coming back. So I think I'm going to leave it this way. It is better to organize your work while working on the project. Remember, this is just learning stuff. That's why it's kind of rough like this. Now, I will go back to this place. I have visual God bless, right? After the image, the next thing I was having there is ish one. Let me just say ish one. EGOVW right? And now, I have something like, let me just use paragraph or through. I have track. You can use anything of your choice. I have P again. Sorry, not there. I have P again, right? This is front end, right? And I have what's it called? I have today. Let me put another Peter. I'll say today is, then I'll say Tuesday, right? Then I'll say P again. I'll say sorry about that, the current UTC time is, I'm just going to say 11:32 a.m. GMT plus one. Remember that was coming from JavaScript. So this is what we get, right? So if I go back to my web page, you can see this is what we're getting over here. Now the issue now is the styling. Now we're going to style this. Now don't forget there's a link say visit on GitHub or view on GitHub. So I'll just put an anchor tag. Right, so you guys are used to this. So I'll just go https colon slash slash github.com. So let me just leave it like this. Number that should have been my profile, or you can use anything of your choice, maybe Facebook or something. But I want to use GitHub. Now let's go back to Iconify. The first thing we search for is let me see, what's the first icon there? Calendar. So let's search for calendar, right? So that will be for the date. So let me just pick this. Let me see. Okay. Can't quite remember the exact one I used. So let's just pick anyone. Let's pick this. That one's not. Why am I having this issue option? Okay, let me just pick anything. So I'm going to copy this. Then don't forget this is what you copy to clipboard, and I'll put this over here. But now, jeez, that's not what I need. This is too much. It's too much. It's too much. So let me just change it. Let me just pick this first one. Take this. Put it over here. Okay, good. This one is okay. Now, if you notice, this SVG is like a tag on its own, right? So I'm now having inside of this place, I'm having SVG and another tag, right? Now it is better for me to put this inside the span. You get, so let me just do something like span to ensure uniformity. Now this word is coming from the fact that I use prettier and it's kind of formatting it this way. But let's not bother about that. There's no issue with that. Then also I need the time icon. Sorry. So let me just do it on this way. I need the time icon, so I'll just come back and do something like this. I'm going to search for time. Search. So let me just pick. Okay, this was what I used. I got it. In fact, this is the calendar I used. Then so let me just come and grab that. Okay, no need, no, there's no need of changing. So I'll just put this over here. Then I'll also put a span, right? For this guy. I'll place it over here. So if I see, if you notice, my pretty eye is not giving me any error to tell you that I'm not wrong, right? Then the last was the GitHub icon. So let me just search for GitHub. Um, GitHub, right? Let me just pick this, copy, then go back and paste this guy here. Now do something like uh, git, okay, span, right? Now say follow on GitHub, right? So if I save this, come back, can you see what we're getting? So let me compare. Okay, view on GitHub, not follow. Okay, both of them are almost the same. So now by the time I come back to my web page, sorry, that's not the web page. To this, you can see what I'm getting, right? I have all the icons, the calendar, and the rest of them. Now, track front end. So let's see. So how we're going to style this? It's very important. How we're going to style that? Now, it's just to come back here. I want to be fast because my time is fast running. I don't want this video to get to an hour. If I come to the CSS, now everything is, I'm going to remove all the default padding and margin, right? So we just do something like this. Uh, Asterisk, which is universal selector. Now we say padding 0 pixel, margin 0 pixel, then box sizing, border box. Now, you know what the padding and margin is doing. If I see, if you notice, there's no padding and there's no margin, but the box sizing, border box, it's kind of separate on its own, right? Take note. We'll look at that. We're going to look at that, right? But just take note of that. Border box sizing. I think it mostly you see the importance of this one, the CSS position and layer. Now don't forget, when I was talking about padding, I didn't know if I talked about this. There's what we call border. There's what we call the border top, border left, border right, border bottom. So please take note. You can give them their values and everything. I talked about it during the class, but I don't. I think it kind of escaped me here. But then just take note of that. Just like we have for the padding, the margin, there's also the border top, left to right. Okay, take note of that. Now, over here now, what will I do? I want everything which is the body to have a font family. Let me just change the font family to sans serif, right? This is kind of cool. So now I want it to have a background color of black, right? So if I see, can you see what is happening? Everything is now dark. And I also want it to have a color of white, right? Right? So just take note. You can use it as decimal values as well, which is 000, hash 000 and hash FFF. But then let's just make use of this. And now let's try the there's something I can do. I can see the text aligned to the center. So everything on the web page will be at the center of the page, right? I can see body, sorry. I come down and say body IMG. Or no need for body IMG. Let me just target the image. I will say the width should be uh, let me say 200 pixel. The height should also be what 200 pixel, right? Now take note of that. Can you see what we're getting? 200 is too big, so let me make it 100. 100. That's what I'm getting. So I can say border radius. Remember, if I want a circle, I just say 50%, right? So that's what we're getting. Then the H1, should we use this as H1? Let me see. Profile CSS, right? I want to close this box HTML. We're no longer using it. So close this. So let's look at the profile HTML. Let me change that from a heading 1 to another heading that's not too big. Let me change it to H2. Okay, I think H2 is better. H2 is better. So let me go back. So there's no need of styling that, right? Because don't forget, I can also style that H1 to be smaller by using CSS, but then I don't want to style it. Now, if you notice, all of my paragraph has two elements in them, which is the icon and the span. So I can set the display to flex, right? Then align. We've not talked about display flex and the rest. So okay, I don't want to use it. So I don't want to use it. I don't want to use it. This CSS layout and positioning. So I just want to make use of what we've taught, right? So if you notice, the icons are kind of going up, right? If there's something I can do, I can say SVG. I want them to have a margin bottom of 0 pixel. Okay, it didn't work. So margin bottom of minus 10 pixel. And see what's happening. So it's either I give it a negative margin bottom, or I can give it a positive margin top. So let me just give it a positive margin top. Margin top of 5 pixel. Right? No. Let me see, 50 pixel. No, that's bad. So let me just give a margin bottom. So the negative margin bottom works because that one is kind of affecting everything. Okay, good. This works, right? Let me just make it minus 7. Let me see. Good. Now this work. They're not sitting on the same. This work. They're not sitting on the same line. Now I can also give it a margin right. Margin right of, let me see, 5 pixel. Um, so by the time I save, right? Let me see. Let's compare. If I come to this is what we're getting. And this, okay. Okay, I think it's better this way. Now, what are we going to do again? Now for the image, let me just give a margin top of 100 pixel. So this is what we'll get, right? I think this is kind of this. So I don't know if I'm zoomed in or not. Okay, I'm zoomed in. No wonder. Oh, I'm zoomed in. No wonder. But let's just leave it like this. Let me just leave it like this. I think this is better. Now, what can I do with this? I've already gotten everything I need, so I can see. If you look at all the paragraphs, if I give a paragraph style, let me say P and margin top of 20 pixel, I'm going to notice something. All of them will have that, but that's not how it is on the design, right? On the design, I have something like this. Those two are close together. So what does that imply? It means I can come back here. Okay, I can come back here and do something like, let me just give that same P. Margin, margin top of 20 pixel. Let me leave that. I think I need that, right? But now I'm going to go back to the HTML, right? Then this, what is it called? This space, I'm going to put it in the section. I'll just say section, um, section. Do I have any div? I think I don't have div, so there's no need of saying section. There's no need of giving it a class. Now, I'll come back here. I will target that div. I'll say the div. I want the div to have a margin top of 20 pixel, right? Then I'll see the div paragraphs. I want them to have a margin because if you notice now, that paragraph, the margin will still be there. So if I should come back and save this, you see the space is still there. But now what I want to do is that I want the div p to have a margin top of 0 pixel. Can you see what this is now? Yeah, so that's what I want. Then also I want the h1 to have a margin top, margin top of, let me just say, 5 pixel, right? H1, margin top. I don't think this is applied. Oh, it's no longer H1. Don't forget I changed it to H2. So H 5 pixel. So good. So let me make it 10 pixel. Okay, good. This is what I mean, right? Then now link behaves as a very stubborn stuff on our web page. So let's start the link separately. Now I will say for the link, I don't think I can remember those colors I use unless I inspect. So for the link, there is what we call so I'll say anchor tag. I'll say the color. I want the color to be white. By the time I save it is now white. and then I want it to have a margin top of the same 10 pixel, but it won't work. This is because it is not a block element, right? Instead, I can come back here and it's not a block level element. Only block level element can take margin. I can change the display to block, right? I change display to block. You can see it's working. But now if I should give a border, let me say 2 pixel solid blue. This was happening. It's not taking the full width. But now I can do something like display inline block. So let's see. Okay, good. This works. Wow, this worked. Inline block. So margin top. Let me change it to 20 pixel. Wow, that works. Wow, no need to stress ourselves. So I can give a padding of 10 pixel. Right, this is what I'm getting. Then I can give a text decoration of none. Right, so there won't be any line on that. When I do that, this is what I'm getting. Now, since I can't remember the color, there's something I can do. I can inspect this, right? I didn't quite remember what I used there, but for now, let's just not stress ourselves. Let's just give something nice and take it up from there because this is just a beginner class. I can give you a linear gradient. So, if I see border radius, I can make this to be 3 pixel, right? So I can give the same color. I can give the color blue. Let's see, will blue work? So let's just put a over color. So I can do something like a colon over, right? So let's give RGBA of 0 comma sorry 0,0,255 0.5. Don't forget this will be RGB of blue. So I'll say background color, right? This will be the RGB of blue, right? Okay, good. This is what we're getting. And I also want to make the text kind of light, so I'll say color white, right? uh, it's better this way. So right, so that's for that, guys. This is a simple project, but then okay, it's too fast, so I can give a transition. I say transition 0.5 second is in and out. So 5 seconds is too big, sha. Let's see. So can you see what we're getting? So that's for that, guys. That's it for this class. We learned about CSS and we applied what we learned to, make this basic style. Though it's not exactly, but then at least we learned how to bring an icon, how to, center the image and make it round and so on and so forth. So thanks, guys, for joining us. In our next class, we're going to be looking at what's it called? The CSS box, CSS position and layouts, right? So thank you very much and see you in the next class.